Hilary Franz is a woman, a female woman running for governor to be a governor who is a woman. And don't you forget that. Welcome to the Jason Rantz Show, presented by None Better Tax Resolution. In case you were wondering, Hilary Franz, she's a woman. And she's the only woman running for governor. And boy does she, and girl does she want you to know it. Her campaign seems almost singularly focused on her gender because she thinks highlighting it will earn her points with the identity-obsessed left, the ones who think you're more qualified than anybody else solely because of your gender or gender identity, your race, obviously so long as you're not white or Asian, or your religion, again, obviously so long as you're not Christian or Jewish. In a tweet, Franz reminds us that she's the only woman in this race and the only candidate who knows what it's like overcoming roadblocks in a male-dominated career. And of course, it comes with a campaign ad.
In 2016, I was asked how a little lady like I was going to manage 6 million acres of land, $500 million budget, and protect our state. No one thought I could win. I was told I had to start from the ground up, pay my dues. I was told to wait my turn. But I knew I had the vision, the values, the passion, the determination to meet the urgency of the moment. And when I was elected, I was just the second woman ever in the history of this state to be the Commissioner of Public Lands. But we have so much more to do.
You see, that little lady is a visionary. Why? Because she says so. Oh, and because she's a woman. And even though abortion is not under even the tiniest of tiny threats in Washington state, a state that's embraced abortion tourism, Franz is using her gender to scare female voters, to scare the sensitive guys who embrace feminism so they can finally get girlfriends to take to their favorite gluten-free and organic cafe on a date.
This is a war on women. This is a war on our families. This is a war on our rights.
Women's rights are human rights, such as the right to autonomy, self-determination, the right to privacy. And the reality is, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters have grown up believing that we were always going to have this protected.
Franz is probably right to focus on being the only female in the race. She's up against two white guys on the left with Attorney General Bob Ferguson and State Senator Mark Mullet running. She, and I know her pronouns are she, her, because she's a woman, she needs Republican voters to split the vote between former Congressman Dave Reichert and former school board director Semi Bird. And then, of course, State Senator Mark Mullet to take moderates from Bob Ferguson. So she's betting that she can siphon off enough identity-obsessed voters to support her purely based on her pronouns. Is it a smart strategy? Maybe, but it's her only strategy. I just hope that she at some point might actually, present some ideas on how to make the state safer from crime, drug abuse, homelessness. Can the so-called little lady do that? We'll see. Maybe she'll tell us. After all, generations of women fought for the right to be treated as equal, where we focus on her ideas, her principles, not her biological characteristics. That might actually do feminism proud. Jason Rantz here with Greg Nunn, your local tax expert and advocate. Greg, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, Jason, great to be with you again and talk about these tax issues.
Okay, so why should anyone in trouble with the IRS contact you immediately?
The sooner the better, because it's so much easier to deal with an IRS situation at the beginning than when you're getting toward the end and they're getting very aggressive. And at the same time, it takes that pressure off of you sooner and gives you that peace of mind that, hey, no more fear of going to the mailbox because I'm here helping you.
So by connecting with you, can you assure people that they won't have the IRS on their doorstep or calling them nonstop?
When you have representation, you definitely do not want to talk to the IRS ever, and you don't have to. You are protected by statute, by law, that when you have representation, they have to deal with your representative. And I am acting in your best interest when I'm dealing with the IRS, and I tell you, you don't want to talk to them, it'll just stress you out.
Greg, thank you so much. That was really, really helpful.
Hey, it's my pleasure, and I just really hope that what I've said helps some people that are in tax difficulty.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Greg might be able to negotiate a settlement for up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest. Call Greg Nunn today. Did you like this video? We have a whole lot more over at ktth.com.